Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. And today we're going to talk about, well, keeping yourself sorted out when it comes to your health while you're out camping in the woods, kind of like that. You never know what happened. So be right back with you. Everybody, welcome back to the channel. Before we get started, I appreciate it if you would subscribe to my channel. Share with your friends and enemies. Give me a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below. Because I really like to know what you think about this and what do you do about this. Let me straighten this camera up real quick. So, I have a lot of training in first aid. Combat Lifesaver, done EMT courses, kind of like that. So when I go to the field, when I go outdoors, even my everyday carry, I carry some kind of first aid gear with me. My everyday carry, which I just had a bag not too long, a video not too long ago. I carry this right here, and inside of it, I carry a small first aid kit. It's a very compact first aid kit. Has everything I need in it, all the bandages, this kind of stuff. Everything I needed. It's actually written in French right here, and this is everything from it's a first aid kit. It's a very basic first aid kit. Let's see, everything's in French actually. It's written in here, so I'm not going to read it all out to you in French. But it's got compressions. It's got antiseptic. It's got stuff for if you get a blister. It's got antiseptic gels. It's got bandages, little small bandages, kind of like that. It's got even to clean. It's got little tubes of liquid to clean your eyes out. If you get irritated, your eyes irritated, kind of stuff. It's got all these items in it, okay, and they're all compact inside this little container, okay. This is my everyday carry, what I carry right here, okay. Now, I want to tell you something that I see so often in a lot of videos, especially the ultralight community. Now, I like ultralight hiking and camping. I'm someone who also follows along with that. Try to carry, keep it light, freeze at night. More like the more you have in here, the less you got to have on your backside. But I keep seeing videos of guys and gals who carry almost no they carry so little first aid gear, and they're constantly having problems in the field on day hikes, week hikes, whatever they're doing. And quite often, a lot of them, they don't have proper first aid training, and they don't carry enough first aid gear on them, okay? Now, I'm not saying you got to carry something like this right here. This right here is a trauma kit, and you don't need a trauma kit to go hiking, this kind of stuff. Now, if you're going hiking in Ukraine, maybe, but not hiking in the Swiss Alps. You don't need a trauma kit that has all the stuff in here, okay? If you need that, then you need also probably a little bit more than this right here. This is a personal trauma kit right here, which you can pull off very easily with a Velcro from your belt or from that side of your rucksack or whatever, But this is not what you need right here for gunshot wounds, this kind of stuff, for hiking, okay? But a lot of these guys, first of all, get yourself some proper first aid training. The ABCs and D of first aid training. Okay, learn proper first aid skills, how to treat yourself and how to treat somebody else. I've taken wilderness survival courses, wilderness first aid mountaineering courses, first aid extreme first aid courses for mountaineering, this kind of stuff where you're dealing with altitude, this kind of stuff also. Also within scuba diving and diving, I've taken also specific first aid courses when dealing with divers for the dive masters, kind of like that with the PADI program. In the Army, of course, we learned CST, Combat Lifesaver, CLS, Combat Lifesaver course, and did some EMT training also. And then, of course, I work with the Boy Scouts of America as a troop guide, troop leader, crew guide. And within that, you also have to have a certain level of first aid skills and to have your certification for using a defibrillator and for proper first aid. I can't mouth to mouth. I can't remember CPR. That's it. I couldn't remember it. These are things that I've done on a personal level and throughout my job, this kind of stuff like that. And I think it was very important. And I feel much more comfortable, especially with my own abilities and being around other people and other people who've had this training, being around them. I have a good buddy of mine named Greg, whom I got to speak to on the phone today, who moved back to the United States. He was an EMT, he was an ambulance guy. And his level of working many years in an ambulance with first aid is just really on a completely different level. They're dealing with trauma and everything else, but they're also dealing with bobos and stuff. So primarily when you're out in the field, you're out camping and hiking, you're probably going to be dealing with bobo stuff, with blisters, with maybe a cut finger, something like that. Maybe, this kind of stuff. Maybe, it's very limited stuff you would deal with it. There's one guy, I saw him, he had pulmonary problems. He started having heart problems, okay? And he really did not know how to treat it, okay? He didn't know how to deal with what he was doing. And sure, they had all the gadgets to call everybody, but no one could get to them, okay? And so you need to be able to respond immediately to yourself or to someone with you, okay? And that's what needs to happen when you're out and about. This is my everyday first aid thing I carry right here. And if I run into some situation, I've got it right here. I can help somebody or help myself. And that's the most important thing, to be able to help yourself. Now, I carry, when I go hiking this kind of stuff, I fill this little bag right here. This is an Exped bag right here. It's a waterproof bag, water resistant, waterproof zipper. And I've had this thing for many years. And I carry inside of it my basic first aid needs that I have. And that's these two little bags right here. Plus I throw in a Sharpie and a Kim light, okay? Why the Kim light? Well, you never know if you don't have light. You need to mark something. You need to mark a situation. You need to be able to see what you're doing at night like that, because bobos only just happen in the daytime. They also happen at night. I got some kind of emergency light with me, and I can leave it with the person, or I can mark my position if I need help, okay? Also, I have a Sharpie here, so you can write down information actually on the victim even, or on cards of what you've done, especially if you're in a situation where someone has fallen, they've injured themselves enough to where they are bleeding profusely and you've had to apply a tourniquet. Now, tourniquets have saved so many lives, especially in the last 20-something years in the U.S. military, in the war zones, that guys are carrying more and more tourniquets. Back in my day, we carried cravats with us, and we use a cravat and whatever piece of a pin or metal or stick or something like that to tighten it down. You could even do it with your belt. So I'm also very confident using a cravat to do this with. But nowadays, of course, you have these cats, all these different tourniquet that you carry. And I have one on my on some other gear that I carry, which goes along with this right here, this first aid kit right here. And I have a tourniquet with that, so just in case. One is none, two is one. So remember that, okay? Now, it is like a whole lot of stuff I'm carrying here, but in reality, it's not very heavy. And so let's talk about what you should carry. First of all, if you are someone who needs meds or you have medications that you need to take with you, maybe you have high blood pressure, maybe you're like me and you have some other meds you have to take, not high blood pressure, by the way, then carry those with you. Also add into it a little bag. You get these little plastic bags that you see that guys are selling other things with. But you get those, you put you some medication in there, or if you still have them on the strips, I don't have any here with me available just immediately. Let's see, if they come already in a container, like what you see here, okay, then leave them in that, because that's going to be protecting it. And so you want to leave it in that and add that into your kit. It's good to have that. So for me, I know that I can go 3 days. This is right here. This is 3 days worth of meds for me, and I keep that with my everyday carry actually. But also add it to my my other kit. I also add ibuprofen or some kind of pain meds or anti-swelling that help calm this kind of stuff down. Carry that with me also, and any other special meds that you may need. I also carry with me everything from alcohol wipes, as you see here, to some rolled tape. You don't have the whole roll with you. I've got some, for example, some ointment, some burn ointment, or if you have a scrape or something like that, use some ointment. This is called A&D right here. It came in a big tube, but I put some out in this small little vial right here. I can use that. That could even also work for if you're sunburned, put it on that, or if your lips are chapped, you can use it for that also. Something else I carry, which I like a lot, and that is Implast. And what this is a spray bandage. Basically, if you have a little small cut, you can spray it on it. Back in the day, you used to carry, and you can still do it, but carry super glue with you. And you can, if you're bleeding enough, you can put it on there, hold it together on your hand, which I'm actually holding this because I've actually super glued my finger right here before. And the super glue, and what happens is, now is it toxic? I don't know. There exists a medical grade super glue that they use. They used it on my daughter when she cut her finger really bad on vacation one time. Cost $70, a little small tube of it, and it came in 3. So I spent a lot of money just for one little small tube of super glue. And I had super glue inside my first aid kit with me. I could have used it myself, and I could have taken care of myself, but we wanted to get her properly to a doctor to look at her. But anyway, finger got caught up in a tire chain, a bicycle chain. Anyway, but it will grow out. It will push itself out. As the scab forms, it will start pushing all this outside of the wound. And so as long as it's not some huge wound, you can do that with, okay? Now, I'm sure there's some medical people out there who probably know better than me, probably say something better than me. I also do carry some lip balm with me right here. And this stuff right here, you can also use on a survival level. For example, if you have some fire needs, you can actually use this right here. It's like a little wax right here, will burn. And if your zipper on your jacket keeps getting caught, you can just put a little bit on the zipper, and that will help it out also. I also carry one of these crazy masks that we've all hate the whole concept of a mask, and that's a pain in the butt. I carry a couple of these little small. What this is a little wipe. You put it in some water, and this thing expands. You can use it to wipe down the area, wipe your hands off with afterwards. Something that happened to me some years ago in Geneva. When I first got to Switzerland, it was a beautiful summer day. That first summer, I was going to work, and I was at the bus stop in Geneva, and a little old lady who's probably about, I would say she was close to 90 years old. The heat got to her, and she just passed out, smacked her head on the ground right next to me. I quickly got to her. She was bleeding from the back of her scalp. I took my shirt off, put it behind her head to sort of catch some of that, also to get her head up off the ground. And she was conscious, this kind of stuff. The only problem at that time is that I didn't have a phone. Nowadays, we all have a telephone with us. But someone who did with me have a telephone, he called an ambulance, they arrived, and I walked off to work without a shirt on. I left my shirt with her. I think they did give me a paper thing or something, but I didn't use it. Anyway, I left the scene of the crime very quickly. I had to go to work, and she was in good hands with the ambulance drivers. Something else I have here is like a gauze you can use to wrap up. Like these gauzes right here, they can actually absorb a lot, but also to help protect an area that's been injured, then you can wrap this around it to sort of keep it as clean as possible. And I got here some rubber gloves, actually, also. So these are some of the things that are very important little things that I carry with me. And I'm pretty happy to have them with me. And these do the job, because you never know. Now, are rubber gloves absolutely necessary? Not necessarily. I mean, you can survive without rubber gloves. With the mask, not necessarily. You can survive without it. But tape is pretty good. And something else I carry with me is a pair of tweezers right here. So if you have a tick or something like that, or a splinter, and I have some fingernail clippers, because you never know when you need some fingernail clippers. So I keep those on me. And I have actually a pair with my car keys that's on the car keys, actually, that I keep with me. Now, something else I carry with me is the main part, and that's lots of different gauzes, this kind of stuff that I can use, because sometimes if something's bleeding profusely, you might need some more gauze, this kind of stuff. So I'll pull the gauzes out. And something else I have with me are lots of little Band-Aids. I carry lots of Band-Aids with me, larger ones that you can cut down, but sometimes you can't always do it. I also have, I have loads of Band-Aids in here, lots of Band-Aids. You never know. And I have kids, so when they were little, I always had to have Band-Aids on me. Something else I have here with me are steri strips. These come in handy to help close up an area that's open, this kind of stuff. That really fills that gap. And then a lot of small sponges and more Band-Aids. I'm probably the Band-Aid king here. Probably should take out some of these Band-Aids. And I have lots of gauzes, large gauzes, small gauzes, and they're all sterile. They're all in their little containers. They're all still good to go. And another pair of rubber gloves. So that's what I carry in my first aid kit. I also, outside that, I always have a knife on me. And I always have some kind of a light system with me besides the chem light. I do have a head torch I carry with me. in my gear. So this is my camping and hiking first aid kit. This is enough for more than just me. So usually the rule that we used to have, especially in the Army, was you use the first aid gear of the person you're with, okay? Well, I've been on outings and people have not carried first aid gear. And for me, it's part of the 10 essentials. It's something I preach, especially when I teach outdoor classes, I teach survival classes, kind of stuff. I always tell people, maintain your 10 items, of your essential items. Make sure you have them on you because you may need them. And like I said, in these videos, I keep seeing people who are constantly not carrying. I see their Bobo kit, and it's got maybe 1 or 2 bandages in it, a little bit of, they'll carry a little bit of moleskin on them, and that's it, And I'm thinking, well, as long as they don't get a blister, they're good to go, because that's about all they can treat is a blister. They can't treat anything else, and yeah. And I guess, especially if you're a guy who's the guide on a trip, and you're guiding a bunch of people outdoors, this kind of stuff, and you don't have what it takes to have with you to get all, to help in a situation, because all you are is a hindrance, especially if you're not carrying your own gear with you, you're just a hindrance. You're hindering a good time, because it only takes one little small thing, and guess what? You're no longer having a good time. So there you go. I got it all in there, a little waterproof container. I can stick this in my backpack. Where do you carry your first aid kit? Well, I carry it in a place I can get to it very quickly if I need it, okay? That and the water, because that's 2 things I can pull out very quickly. You can throw water, you can wash the situation out, especially if someone's fallen. They may have a lot of gravel or sand in the wound. You try to wash a lot of that out. Try to wash as much as you can out. Sure, it's going to be your drinking water, but hey, and maybe maybe it may not be the cleanest water, but it's better than leaving all that grit in there. So try to get all that out before treating. But that's something you'll learn in a first aid class, especially a wilderness first aid class, but I suggest you do, especially if you're an outdoors person. And like I said, I keep seeing these videos of these people who do not have these qualifications. They should not be going outdoors, on my opinion, because they don't have the proper training, and they don't have proper gear with them, okay? They go ultra light, which means almost too light, and they pay the consequences. I keep seeing these videos. I keep seeing these people, and after the fact, and they're like telling you, well, you know what, learn from my mistake. Well, I'm telling you, learn from their mistake, okay? Gear up properly. Carry the right kind of gear. Don't forget the 10 essentials, and always know how to use what you have. There's no sense in carrying a compass with you and a map if you don't know how to read a map and use a compass. If you don't know how to sharpen a knife, all you're carrying, especially after you use it a few times, is just a very heavy little stick with you. That's all it's good for. It's not going to be good for cutting anymore, okay? If break in your boots before you get out there. There's a lot of little things you should do and you need to keep doing. Have spare batteries for your flashlight. Change them out as often as you can. Don't leave when you get back home, clean your gear. Check what works, what didn't work. And that's a video we're going to talk about in the near future. It's winter now. We're getting our first snow as I'm talking right now outside here in Switzerland where I live. It's finally winter is here. And so this is when I start doing most of the camping. So it's not just summer first aid, but also how to treat people in winter situations. Just a quick story. When I was in the Army, I was a paratrooper also. And I remember jumping on the... well, it wasn't Fort Bragg at that time. It was Camp McCall, and we were carrying, because of the temperatures outside, which were near freezing, we were carrying a sleeping bag between 2 guys. Now, the reason why one between 2 guys, because you're always 50% security, pretty much. But also, we just didn't have the room in our rucksacks, and we didn't have very good sleeping bags back then. Now they have much better sleeping bags. So we were primarily living out of poncho liners with a 3/4 length sleeping mat, and just sort of, you were just, scrolling up, you were ballsing up, whatever, But a guy had an accident. He broke his leg on a jump. I found him because I wasn't too far from him. And luckily he had his sleeping bag with him because I didn't have one with me. My buddy was carrying mine. And so I pulled his sleeping bag out, stuck him in there. I got in there with him, and to keep him warm, get him warmed up, and called for medics to show up. Basically, bayonet on a rifle, stuck it in the ground, put a red chem light on it, and waited. And that's basically all we could do. It was too far to try to carry him, plus all the gears, kind of like that. And that's just what the situation was. In a wartime situation, of course, you're not going to move somebody from a spot if it's dangerous, or any kind of situation. You'll learn all this when you take courses. If it's a dangerous location, you're going to move that person. But if you don't have to move them, you're going to make them as comfortable as possible while you're dealing with the situation. But the situation right here, I didn't have to move him. It was a training exercise. And in the long run, I never heard back from him or anything like that. But continuing on the mission, I didn't even tell anybody. I just did my job and went to the assembly area and moved on. But anyway, these things happen all the time. Accidents happen, situations happen, non-accidents happen, and we have to be ready for them. And how the first thing to get ready for that is and be prepared for that, which is the Boy Scout motto, and that is educate yourself, learn first aid. There you go. Hope you guys all enjoyed this video, and if you did, please leave a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below. Give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and please share with your friends and enemies. I look forward to seeing you in the next video and hearing your comments down below, what you guys do, what you experience, this kind of stuff. And there you go. Hope you all have a good one. I'll see you soon in the next video. Take care of yourselves. Goodbye.